Everybody, welcome to Etcetera Live. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm your host, Kelly Barrett. I have been a fan of my guest tonight from the beginning. She was one of my early idols and greatest inspirations to get into my own musical career. Let's just welcome the original queen of scream, my friend Darby Mills. Darby.
Hey.
Hey. How's it going?
It's going just fine.
It's so good to see you again. We were just chatting before the show here, and you've got some pretty cool projects on the go. And so I just want to start things off by asking you, how was your summer?
You know what? I can't believe we're in mid-September right now. I don't know what happened to summer. I don't know what happened. As we'll get into, I'm inside every day on my computer every day, and I went golfing today, and I wore a skirt, and I'm as the whitest thing on the golf course. It's like we had summer, I guess we did, but I missed it. So yeah, I've got studio tan, but that's the choice you make, I guess.
It's all worth it. It's all worth it because you know what, being tan, I think, comes secondary to what it is that you're doing. And can we just go right ahead and talk about the True Story Project, Darby?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about the True Story Project. I had mentioned it the last time that we spoke, and it's been through COVID, I learned how to use Adobe Premiere Pro and Photoshop. I have invested in Adobe Suite, so I can function in a few of the programs in Adobe, and I started doing videos for whatever I could do videos for over COVID, learning how to do video editing, and I've managed to do, I think, 6 videos for us at this point. And when I first got the nerve to try to go on my own, what this is going to be is what I thought I was going to do. But because there were some crazy kind buyers out there that we got right up to 2020, we were working as a fair and festival band, a concert band, which I thought I had walked away from. We were filling those shoes again as DMP, and it was lovely. That's what I've done most of my life. Yeah, it was great to have that opportunity, but it has since COVID, we just haven't been able to get back up on that horse. So, and also with the editing thing, I went back to the original plan, which was telling my true story and taking it into the soft cedars, because that's where the gray hairs, which I am very much a part of, go to see shows. It's a dry, clean event. You get your glass of wine on the half an hour in the middle, and you're home in bed by 10:30. It's fabulous.
Sounds like my kind of night.
I know. I know. And I went, a couple friends of mine invited me to their shows because they're filled, those venues are filled with tributes to whoever. And so this is, in a sense, it's a tribute because I'm not playing headpin songs. I'm playing some headpin songs. I'm playing some of my originals, but it starts off right from basically the day I'm born. It's pre-COVID. I got into directing, and I was going to direct a play for Glee here in Vernon, and 2020 happened and it didn't happen. But I had been in the Glee program here for 6 years in a row, pretty much. And so I'm just combining the theatrics of theater somewhat with a live show. And the story is being told with pictures and video in behind, and I'm editing all that. I'm putting it together. And as I mentioned earlier, 17 months, if not more, I've been working on this steady. And just the last 3 days, I'm seeing the light at the, it's like doing a 17-month album. It's just forever. But
Right.
I was learning as I was going, right? So yeah, I'm starting to see it, and I'm really excited, and I'm looking forward to playing that type of venue. The politics are completely different, so I'm not involved. I don't believe in the politics that I've tried to get away from. So, you know,
Right. That,
you just got to do something. What else am I going to do? Right. I'm getting
right.
old.
I think, Darby, when you're, sorry for cutting you off there, but I think when you're a creative soul as you are, I think it's something you just kind of have to keep doing, whether it's like through your jewelry, phantom jewelry, or, through this project, or, whatever it is that you're doing. I think it's just that need to create. And when can we expect to see the results of the fruits of this labor that you are just telling us about now?
Well, we actually have a date. We actually have a date that we have booked to actually stream this worldwide with a company that just got back from the Olympics. He's so busy. I'm waiting to talk to him to get some of the details fixed and set in motion. But we have a lot to do still with our end, because now the band and the video have to come together, and we have to have it's all on a time. It's and so I'm really hoping that we're going to be ready when this date approaches. It's crazy busy right now. I just came last night. I had 5 minutes to get to an invite only party for this dancing competition I'm judging, Dancing with the Stars here in Vernon.
Nice.
It just so much going on right now. So yeah, I made it there with a minute to spare before all the dancers started dancing. I'm a judge, right? This wasn't the night you're judging, but it was
Still.
anyway. So there's that, and then the judging is coming up in a couple of weeks, and then we've got I'm really excited about PresSPlay, the I call it my local band, but it's really my jazz blues classic in every sense of the word band that we recorded a live album, and again, working with cameras, I set up a 5-camera shoot and we shot it, and I learned a whole bunch about a 5-camera shoot. Yeah.
Look at you
Anyway,
go. Look at you go,
well,
wearing all
oh,
these
wait.
hats, and, and learning all this stuff. And so the true story, I think something like that just sounds like such a fun, it just adds so much more depth and creativity than just getting up on stage and singing it. And I love the fact that you're still, and we talked about this the last time you were on the show, Darby, is that, it doesn't mean because you're a certain age, you just go, well, that's that. I think I'll just, get a garden. There's so much more to learn. And no, I love that, because I think it sends such a strong message to people, especially women. And just really quickly here, speaking of tributes and theatrical and stuff like that, Syl Thompson from A Night of Bowie is in the house, which is a David Bowie tribute. He's been on the show, and he's just saying, hi, ladies. So nice to see you both. Hi, Syl.
Hey,
We love Syl. G Venuto, do you know G? She's on Facebook quite a bit. Hello, ladies. Glad to see you both. And Lee Canfield, I'm pretty sure you probably know that name. Lee is one of your biggest fans, and I think he's one of my biggest fans. And he says, good evening, Kelly and Darby. I just wanted to express, as a super starstruck fanboy, that you are like the rock energizer bunny. Wanted to say God bless you, Darby Mills and the Darby Mills Project. The song Want It has it all. First time I heard it, loved it. Just keep on keeping on. Peace and happiness. Oh, we love Lee. We love Lee. Thanks, Lee. We hope that you're doing much better. Medina Sebastian says, hi, Kelly and Darby Mills. He's from Buenos Aires, I think, or yeah, he's from that part of the world, but he always tunes in when you're here.
wow.
Yeah. Hey, from Andy Christ. Hey, Andy, it's good to see you, buddy. He says, what was the 19 lockdown like? I saw your plexiglass show at Captain's Cabin in Mission.
Wow.
BC. Did you get any gigs through that time? Hope more shows are coming. Good question, Andy.
So the first part of that was, what was it like? That like that show, or?
He says, what was the 19 lockdown like? I saw your plexiglass show. Okay, so I'm taking it you're performing behind plexiglass, as many people did during that time at Captain's Gap.
Yeah, we did one show in 2020 at Captain's. He mentions where it was in Mission.
That's right.
And only 50 people were allowed to come, and they had the stage surrounded in plexiglass, and it was a real experience. And by all means, in front of me on the glass was nothing but spotted spit from me singing, right?
Right.
So it's like, it's real. I mean, that stuff happens. I don't know. What a weird time that we've lived through. What a
Right.
weird time we've lived through.
Do you think it's
Yeah.
changed? Do you think it's changed your perspective forever? I know it has for me. Like, do you think it's just changed what's important to you and what you value and how you see the world? And
It's changed the world. So if you're looking at things the same way, either good for you or whatever. I don't know. I don't pretend to know anything other than how to try to make me enjoy the time I have left on
yes.
this planet.
Yeah,
That's
very, very well
number
said.
one.
I agree. We were talking about this last week on the show actually, and it's like I just had this bucket list that looked so much different before COVID. Do you know what I mean? Because I looking back now, I see it was mostly material things.
Yeah.
You know, or vain sort of, you know, I want a gorgeous husband and I want a new car and all this kind of stuff. And now it just looks so much different because I think like most of us, we realize how out of the blue that could be taken away and we just never know. So today I'm happy I have a comfortable house and which I'm moving out of next weekend.
Oh no.
But I'm moving into another nice home, and I'm grateful that I have good people in my life, and I have this show and all that kind of stuff. And it really does make things look different. And I just want to say this: it was kind of funny, Darby, because today my house was filled with Darby Mills music all day long, and which is normally what I do, just to kind of get into the. And I started thinking about the first time I ever saw you live, and it was in Regina, Saskatchewan, and it was at a venue called the Center of the Arts. That's where I lived at the time. It was one of the first concerts I'd ever seen, and it must have made a serious impression on me because I remember what you were wearing. I remember the first song because I was wanting to get into the business to sing, and I just idolized you. And I remember coming out, and the crowd is dark, and there's a little bit of hi-hat going, and then all of a sudden you just hear this voice saying, "Turn it up, come on." Turn it up, come on, turn it. And then the lights come on and you just throw your head back and wail that line. And I was just, my little teenage mind was just blown away. And I remember just walking away from that show thinking, that is what I want to do. Like,
Yeah.
That is what I want to do. Of course, I never got to the level that you did, but still had a career at it. And, my question is for you. Did you, when, first of all, a couple questions. First of all, when did you know that you had a voice that might be slightly edgier than the average bearer? At what point do you think, oh, maybe I have something here?
The second band I sang for, which was the first band that rehearsed in my parents' basement. And in true story, I go through the first 5 years in true story with pictures and everything. Anyway, we were rehearsing in mom and dad's basement. It'd been like the fourth or fifth rehearsal, and the boys came one night with an album, and they said, because I was singing to Ann Wilson. I was singing Dreamboat Annie. That's where my head was at. I was doing Ann Wilson and Heart, and they handed me the Pearl album. And I like, okay, who's this? And it's like, listen to this. And so it was inherent, I think, that I sounded that way. But at 17, I got handed that by the guys who knew everything because they were 18. And so, yeah, I started to listen to her and understand that that's what they wanted. That must be. So, but I think it was inherent. I think that, yeah, I pretty much do everything kind of over the top. It's just.
Which is great when you're in the rock and roll business. You
Well,
go wrong. I just, oh my God, oh, there's so many comments coming in. So I'm sorry to cut you off, Darby. I promised people I would get to them this show. Perry Boyko, we all love and know Perry. He says, that's where I saw Darby too. I remember that concert, and I assume he's talking to the one we were just talking with Andy about. Greg Thompson, you know him because I think you're chatting with him from the Langdon Firehouse.
okay.
My buddy
You know
Greg.
what? I'm terrible with names and stuff, but yeah, probably. Hi.
He says we hope to see you soon. So he runs the
Yeah.
Langdon Firehouse just outside of Calgary. Good friend of mine. Brings some top notch. He brings some top notch entertainment into that club for sure. So if you're in the Calgary area, guys, check that out. Gordon Enright says hello from Toronto. We have a fan here that was at the Salt Springs concert. He says it's Chris Pollard, and he says Darby Mills Project rocked Salt Springs Island August 24th.
Hey, Chris.
Oh, you know Chris?
I know Chris.
Nice. It's funny. So this morning when I'm going down my trip down memory lane, and you have on like this little leotard, like those little weightlifter out. And anyway, like that's when you made an impression. I remember what you were wearing, and I remember the first song. I remember the whole thing like it was yesterday, and I've never forgotten it. And thinking back to that first show, if anyone had told me that one day I'd be sitting here not only talking to you, but having you in my life as somewhat of a friend, because we do stay in touch, and you've always been so sweet about checking in on me when I had health issues and that sort of stuff. And I think that's what I love about you most, Darby, is that you're just so real. You're just real and sweet and genuine and raw. And I think fans really respond to that. And there's a question in here. I went off fangirling like a dork. So my question to you is, Darby, who is that for you? Who would that person be for you?
Oh my.
I think I have an idea. I have an idea I could guess, but I'll let you answer.
For present right now, for who's out there doing it right now, Pink.
Yes.
Of course, right?
Me too. Right.
Yeah. But you talking about you seeing me the first time and how it opened a window or a pathway for you. I was, and I talk about this in True Story, I was 4 or 5 watching Ed Sullivan and Diana Ross, Bette Midler, and Sonny and Cher. Huge.
Cher would have been my guess. I would have said Cher, but yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And Tina, those are the women. Those are, and I've struggled with how I'm not writing like I probably should be writing to keep in the industry. But it's like, what? Music doesn't make money anymore. Writing music doesn't make money anymore. At least for someone in my position, for lack of a better word.
Right.
I am not searching to find out how to make your streams work better. I know that there's some ways, but you know what? Again, I've been busy doing this, and to do that, it takes that much kind of time. And it's just like, so if you have to have 10 million streams to make a month's paycheck, maybe I should be doing something else that one day might pay your way. So
that makes sense to me. Yeah.
I've dropped the ball at that end, and I probably shouldn't publicly be saying that. But when you're signed to a worldwide distribution deal with a Canadian label, and they drop all their distribution deals in 2020, I think it was. So that's a record company, a fairly major company here in Canada, that's had to wipe the slate for. It's not a healthy business right now. Not that it ever was. It was always jaded and always one-sided, and always there was always somebody at the table that had the gamut. But it's just out of control right now in a manner that I don't have the willpower to go out there and figure out how to make that happen. I mean, yeah.
Isn't there part of it too, Darby, that's just nice to do something different? You know, it's just nice to sort of stretch your talent in different ways and get creative in different ways and learn new, like, I imagine you've learned a lot over this last project.
We had 50 songs for PresSPlay, and we would rehearse twice a month, every second Wednesday. And we started, I put that thing together, and it's like songs like Spooky and Stormy, Dave Clark 5 stuff, just very, very different for me. And yet I saw how that singing Turn It Loud at 85 years old, just isn't going to cut it for me. You know, I'm going to let it go.
We're going to talk about your tattoo. I love it. Let it go. When did you get that? What does it represent? The obvious, aside from me.
It represents exactly that. And it was 5 days after my last show with the Headpins. I knew after 36 years of toting that, whatever the hell that was, I had to let it go. I had to stand up for myself. I had to find me, because I'd spent a lot of time being who that was supposed to be. And I'm not blaming anyone for that, in the sense of I went along with it, although I was 20 years old when I was told that's what it was. And I went hook, line, and sinker. And you know what? We did okay. We didn't go worldwide, but we did okay.
You did.
And again, I've always had that streak in me. The last year when Brian and I parted ways, I just stood up for something that was said, and that was the last straw that broke the camel's back, right? And I don't really regret it, because I stood up. I was me, you know. So, and at the end,
I just want to let people know, because there's more to this, and it just leads me to, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I was watching the 2018 documentary, and it's on YouTube. You guys can check it out. It's Turn It Loud.
Queen of Scream or Turn It Loud?
Pardon me, Queen of Scream. I digress. Queen of Scream. Where you really get into depth about why you left the Headpins and that sort of thing. And so I really would urge the viewers to check that out on YouTube. I was just watching it today, actually, and it's on YouTube, and you can check it out. And it's a little bit more of an in-depth kind of explanation if people want to know that. But one of the questions I did have is, there's a line, I had to write this down, actually. The thing I like about the video the most is when you refer to, you know, it opens up and you say, how many people get to start over at 57? And then you go on to describe it as scary, exhilarating. And then it shows you walking out on stage, and you have the body of like a 21-year-old. It's but you also say the comeback was torturous. And I assume that you're referring to the Darby Mills Project. So because that's what you talk about mostly in the documentary. And so I'm just wondering if you could explain the exhilaration and the and the torturous reference that you make, and the scary, and it.
Well, yeah, it was just, it was all the feels, because again, I stood up for myself, and I realized that, you know, you got to wake up with yourself in the morning. And so do what makes you feel good. And plus, losing my mom, losing my dad, almost losing my husband, at COVID, it's just like, you know, what is real? What are we here for? Yada yada. The old story, but it's true. You start to think about how you want to go down, how you want to be seen by not only you, but your family and your children, who are now young adults going through situations in life where if they see you handle it poorly, they're more likely to handle it poorly as well, right? Or maybe not. Who knows? But it's changed from before I left to, you know, you go through, it's kind of like not alcoholism, but kind of the different signs of grief. You go through the crying, and then the anger, and So I've been through all of those, and you just, you know what, how many, I've lost so many friends. My husband's lost so many friends, if not cancer, something. And it's just like, what is important? What do you need to be doing right now to live your best life? And
Right. Puts
so,
things in perspective. Really, it does.
yeah, you know,
Right.
so what makes you, what, what makes you happy? What
What
makes
makes
you
you
happy?
to let go, right? Hence the
Yeah, yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
Awesome. Oh, hey, Jimmy Burkhart's in the crowd. Hi, Jimmy. Uh, Jimmy's, yeah, he's always doing the high horns and saying hello. It's always good to see him. Dean Underhill, good to see you ladies rock on. Ron Hunter, hello. Bruce Geiselink. I know I'm not saying that correctly. Keep on being you, Darby. You rock, always have, and always will. Aw.
Yeah.
Gordon Enright, hello from Toronto. I think we said hello. Yeah, thanks so much for popping in, guys. So I have a bunch of questions here in my notes. I have to have notes, but oh, here's a question I think I asked you last time, but I'm going to ask it again because so you've toured with some pretty incredible artists in your day, Kiss and Whitesnake and Heart and Aerosmith. Is there anybody that you still have not played with that you would really want to collaborate with or work with or share a stage with?
Oh man, I'm sure there is. Someone that I'm sad to see stop is Steven Tyler.
Yeah,
You
that was
know,
heartbreaking.
it's like, ah, it happens to everybody. It's coming, you know, it's coming. Woohoo. So yeah. Um, other than that, just want to be able to uh, yeah, enjoy what's happening. Hopefully, get True Story into the soft cedars and be able to, again, like I said, it's a totally different political avenue, and um, hmm, we'll see if I can destroy that path.
I think it's great that you're off on new ventures and and just try and just flexing that creative muscle in other ways. And like getting back to press play, you have some exciting news for that because there is a record release party coming out next month,
Yeah,
right?
in a couple weeks actually, and again, I had five different cameras set up in this room, and we filmed it all. And another catastrophe, the guitar player, I'm blaming him on this one. This wasn't me. Had recorded it all and put it on a brain. And by the time he got home, he lives in Kamloops. We recorded and filmed it here. He had lost it, so we had to do it a second time. But the second time, I know, right? It's like, of
Darby,
course
are
he
you
lost.
sitting down? I got to tell you something.
Yeah. Well, you see, we're gonna have to do it again anyway. So we did, and we had. It's actually filmed in a store that closed down called the Wet Spot, which was a pet spa, but there was nothing in it anymore. But there were animals painted very funnily on the walls, and it was purple and lime green and stuff. And so in the old days, and the head pins in the old days are the original sound man that I know from my first years was Ted Wozniak, and he would buy rolls of black poly plastic, and he would coat the back of the bar, so our lights always looked like a better show than anyone else's in the bars, right? So I'm like, well, let's poly the walls. So we did. It made it look quite industrial, actually. But so the second time we went in and we made it again a third bigger, and filmed it with an overhead camera this time, which was lovely, and got it all filmed, and named it An Evening with Just Us at the Wet Spot, because
You got to get that name in there just for shock value.
I know, right? And it's very true. But so yeah, we've got all that, and we started listening to it, and this is live off the floor, and it's like, you know what? This is really good. Like, I really like this. Dennis Marsenko is the bass player, and he's been in Katie Lang and Colin James and a million other bands, and he's toured the world, and he's been on Johnny Carson twice. Johnny Carson, and working with him, he's just so fabulous that these songs, John Tracheal on guitar and Rich Graham is now our drummer. We had a different drummer for the recording. We've switched up the drummer. But anyway, so it just sounded so good that we sent it off and had it mixed by Ray Roper, who just finished doing Paul Rogers' solo album. Yeah. Right. And so he mixed it for us and threw on some background vocals because we didn't have that for the live filming. And so it's like, you know what? We're going to put it out. And so it's the release party on the 17th of October in the Vernon Town Theater, which is the theater I went to for the very first movie I ever saw when I was 5 years old. Wow. So they've turned it into a live venue. They still play movies, the off-Broadway movies. And now they have bands. Northern Pikes are in there this weekend or next or maybe last. But anyway, so yeah, so we're really excited, and we've got some awesome people coming in to join the night with us. And yeah, we're just going to do this and hopefully
check it out. Yeah, check it out, people. If you're in that area, or if it wasn't so far, I'd make a road trip. That would be something to see. And how cool for you that it's coming full circle.
Yeah,
you used to be as a kid.
Yeah, they fixed the inside of the theater. There's all new seats. All the old ratty leather seats are all gone. They got all new seats in there and a stage. And yeah, we're really excited about it. It's such fun music to do. And if I'm absolutely honest, I'm going to be able to sing this stuff until I'm 80 because with the pension the musicians have, I'm going to be working till I'm 80. So yay.
Aren't we all?
Yes.
But isn't that nice to have that option to not be sort of pigeonholed into the same 12 or 15 songs, as incredible as they are, but to now then go and choose songs that you'll be able to pull off years from now. And the one posted, I just love that, is Ventura Highway.
Yeah.
Is that's the first time I'd ever heard you in that sort of genre, and I was like, wow, when you can go, guys, check it out. It's on my Facebook page, it's on Darby's, and I'm sure Darby Mills a Voice. Ventura Highway is one of the songs I imagine fans will be hearing at that show.
Actually, if you're on Facebook, there we do have our own page called PresSPlay, and PresSPlay is the name of the band because when you used to listen to the songs that we play, you would be listening to them on a tape deck, so you'd have to press play. So that's where the name comes from. It's not a twist on publicity or whatever. It's just to give, yeah. And so PresSPlay the Revue is I couldn't just get PresSPlay. It was taken already by 5 other entities. So PresSPlay the Revue, and all those songs, they're all posted on there, or at least little videos that I've done for the band in the meantime. So yeah, so October 17th. Woo.
Fun stuff. Check it out, guys. That Ventura Highway, I know I keep ranting about it, but I was listening to that. I'd never heard you sing like that before. I only kind of knew the Darby Mills, Queen of Scream, and man, just to hear you kind of have this sultry, sexy, sort of completely different tone to your voice. And I said it in the post, that's talent. It's not. We're not talking about a one-dimensional singer here who only knows how to scream. Like, that jazzier stuff is hard to sing too. And in fact, Rob Begg is in the house. Rob Begg is also in the Night of Bowie with Syl Thompson. He says, "Hey, Darby, you still got the pipes, girl." The original. Oh, Derek Godfried's in the house.
Hey, Derek.
Derek says, "Hey, Darby." James Beaudry Music, 2 of Canada's most beautiful and amazing voices. Love to you both so much. Keep rocking. Thanks, James. Oh my God, just tons. Stephen LaRue, we love you, Darby, from Corby, Ontario, near Mattawa.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. Mitch Desarmo, sorry, Mitch, I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Looking great, ladies. Cheers from Ottawa. Yeah, lots of people here. And so Kathy Belfour, hey, Darby. Shauna Lorraine, hi, sure. There's just, I'm trying to get to more people because I always feel bad when people pipe up, and sometimes I just miss them. But I'm just curious, Darby, what does a typical day look like in the Mills household?
Wadsworth.
Wadsworth.
He's not here. Yeah. You know what? It's the same as any other house. It's the same as any other house. You know what? I got a fish tank.
Yep. Is there a lot of recording equipment and like, is there stuff like that going on, or is that pretty much reserved just for the studio? Because, inquiring minds just want to know this stuff, I'm pretty sure.
I got a really funky little studio going downstairs for sure. And yeah. I've spent some money down there, and it's not necessarily recording music. It's this editing stuff that I'm doing, which it's kind of taken me away from the jewelry, which was what helped me not jump over the last 4 years or whatever, having a creative outlet, right? But
Right.
yeah, no, I'm loving it. I'm trying not to invest more. Everything that I've been doing the last 3 years has been an investment, not only in time, but finances.
Yeah.
And I haven't been working a lot. Probably shouldn't say that, but it's the truth. So
That's the real raw you that we love, Darby. You're just real and raw, right?
yeah. Well, you know what? I can't lie. I can't say I've been working because I haven't been. So,
Yeah.
but
No.
it's not that I've been working anyway. So investing in the future with true story and PresSPlay and judging dancing, and then I got another really really crazy thing happening at the end of October. Besides the going streaming true story, if we get our act together, that's a date that's set, and I'm worried about being able to have us start together. But I'm doing this other thing out in Niagara Falls in the end of October that I can't really say what it is. I've been signed a do not, but they
Don't
didn't
talk.
say I couldn't mention that I was doing something. So
Right.
I got dared by a girlfriend to do this, and I laughed at her and went, oh, that's never gonna happen. And god damn it, the phone rang and it's happened. So
Good for you.
yeah, it's like, oh shit. So you know what, I'm doing it, and
Good for you.
we're
Good for you.
see what
we're all curious, but we get that you can't talk about it right now.
oh yeah.
You can tell me after the show. You can tell Auntie Callie after the show. I'm just kidding. Well, I look forward to the time when you can talk about that, and then we can talk about that again too.
Yeah. Well, in the end of October, I think I'll know fairly fast. I think.
Well, you will let me
Um,
know, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm not even sure how it works actually. Now that I just know that it's been a lot of behind the scenes information and passing stuff back and forth. And yeah, you know what? I could knock this out of the park and I could fall flat on my face, and I'm just not quite sure which one's going to happen. But confidence is huge, as I'm learning, especially out in the golf course. If you go up to the ball thinking you're not going to hit it very well, damn it, you're not. But if you go up and say, I'm going to hit this ball, and it can work better. Not
What's
always, but
huge on the golf course, in my opinion? Patience and alcohol. Well, not alcohol. I don't drink alcohol, but you know what? I find golf so frustrating. I find it
yeah,
so frustrating. It's like
it is. Yeah,
whack.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my brother's heavy into it, and I've tried it a few times. But no, but seriously, Darby, good for you that you're just willing to wing it. Like, I'm going to do this. It's exciting, and whatever happens is what happens. I mean, if you don't try,
Yeah.
you don't know. And I think that's incredible. So good for you for that. What we should do? We should say a big hello to my official show sponsors, Writers and Rockers Coffee Company. I'm gonna turn that over to you for a second. Look what Darby's got. Darby has her own coffee. Tell us about your coffee, Darby.
I need some more. Send me some more.
Me too.
Yeah.
So tell us what your coffee is called and what type of blend it is.
It's It's whole blend, medium blend roast.
There you go, everybody. And where can they get it? They can get that and a ton of other Rockstar endorsed gourmet coffee. It's really good coffee. It really is. And I'm not saying that because you're on the show. I have a ton of it on the shelf. Most of it's empty right now and most of it's packed. But Writers and Rockers Coffee Company.com, they have a ton of different merch. They've got Rockstar endorsed coffee, hoodies, t-shirts, tons of bling. And I'm super grateful to have them for my show sponsors. So check that out. Christmas is coming. But great Christmas gifts. Hey, like for the music lovers in your life, everybody loves coffee. So yeah, big shout out to them. Joey Greco is in the house. Hi, Joey. Joey's from Sonic X. He's been on the show a few times. Super talented dude. Happy to see him.
Joey.
What do we have? This question here, Darby. What are you most grateful for? That's my question.
My.
Why don't we break it down a little bit to make it easy, personally and professionally?
Personally, I have a 40-year marriage, and we're still married, and two excellent human beings as sons. I'm grateful for that.
I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
40 years. What's your secret? What's the secret to being married for 40 years in the rock and roll industry?
Well, I used to say on stage, the secret for a long marriage is to join a band and travel as often as possible.
Never be home.
That way he's the boss when I'm not here. So that,
evens out, right? So what would you say you're most proud of professionally? I just want to answer it for you. I'll be quiet and let you answer. I think it's just incredible that after 40 years in the industry, you're still trying new things. People still want to hear you sing. People still love you. You can still hit those money notes. You're still so relevant. And I just answered your own damn question for you because I couldn't help myself. But I think that's incredible. I think that's something to be seriously proud of.
Yeah, every year that I'm still attempting, I start to realize, good for you. Good for you. I don't know if I can go out and do what I used to do, and not working for as many years as I have lately, or at least the minimum amount, even though I work out minimum 3 times a week. And for that 90-minute workout, I hum for 7 songs. Like I work my throat and my lungs. Because screaming Turn It Loud in the basement by myself is just not something that I find at all. I do that to try and keep the throat going. But you know what? To be able to
scream, the neighbors did that anyways.
I know, right? I make sure the doors are closed. I did that the other day. We're getting the final the mastering done for the PresSPlay thing, and I had realized there was enough overloading of some of the kick drum that I thought we'd got rid of, and because I normally listen to it while I drive down to Vancouver, and that's usually like 100 and some miles an hour that I'm going, and so I've got so much car noise. And I listened to it in the studio, and it's like, oh my God, I didn't notice. Oh my God. So we're redoing it. I'm in the car on a hot afternoon, and I need to hear this. So I don't turn the car on, but I turn the stereo on, and it's so hot, I'm dripping. So I put the windows down, and this is the PresSPlay stuff, not DMP. And I've got it cranked because I want to know exactly where the bottom end is exploding so that we can bring it back. Right. So I've got it cranked, and I'm writing down every millisecond that happens. And 3 neighbors individually through that time, because it's blaring, come over and like, what the hell are you listening to? And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. But I've sold 4 tickets, 6 tickets, and 2 tickets in that time to the PresSPlay show. So I wasn't trying to blast the neighborhood out. I really was trying to figure out what was wrong and where to fix it. But Yeah, and why I went there, it's your fault. You said something about something, and yeah, so I apologize.
We were talking about things we're proud of,
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
but yeah. So this comment is from Christine Dennis. I hope that's the way to pronounce it. I think you know her, Dennis or Denny. Christine, love you, Darby. You are, as you know, so incredibly special to us for so many reasons. Aw.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Christine. Oh, Patricia Labossiere. So she is actually the wife of Donnie Underhill from Trooper. So I think she was making a reference to the married, the great thing is to be on the road lots, because she said, so does Donnie. He drives me crazy sometimes, but I get it.
Go.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Trisha will be sleeping on the sofa tonight after. Bruce Geiselink. God, I know I'm saying that wrong, but
I know Bruce. Hey, Bruce.
Correct. Bruce says, Darby, you are pure Canadian, a true piece of Canadian music. I couldn't agree more. So yeah, awesome. So I'm going to ask you, this is the Barbara Walters portion of the show that I always go to. When are you the happiest? And is it different than it was back then? Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. I didn't know shit back then, really. I didn't. I was just doing what I thought was right because I was watching people like Brian McLeod, who had been in the business and had success, and what he did must be right because he'd been there, done that, right? So, but I've learned, thank God.
To let it go. Right. Rob Begg says, I knew Darby when she was in Steelback. She was so special. The encore, when a man loves a woman, blew the doors out. She's still one of the best.
You know, when a man loves a woman is in True Story. We're doing that in True Story.
There you
Yeah.
go. That's like
Thanks,
chills.
Rob.
It gives me chills. Yeah, for sure. Stephen J. LaRue says, still my favorite female screamer. All right, moving right along. Thanks, Stephen. And speaking of which, where did that title come from? I know we talked about this on one of the other shows, but for people that don't know, did that come from a magazine article?
You know what? For a little while, I was thinking it came from Hot Rod Annie. No, oh goodness, I can't. Hot Rod. I did an interview. It was the strangest interview. She sent me. I'd never done this before. She sent me the questions, and I set up my camera and had the questions like right here, and I would read them out loud, and then I would answer them. And then I sent her the whole thing. And then she asked the questions after I answered them. Yeah, that was the weirdest thing. But I thought she had coined the phrase Queen of Scream. Pardon?
Sorry, being a smartass, I said, so you basically interviewed yourself. Did her job for her, right?
When I'm the happiest, you know?
Right.
Anyway, but no, I think it came from the Vancouver magazine back in like 82. I did this, yeah, I did a spread. I had my Cocker Spaniel, and the title had Scream in it. And I think that's where she might have got it from. But honestly, I don't know. But it's kind of fitting.
It is.
It's a moniker that sometimes is a wonderful thing to have, not so much at the bank. You know, like sometimes people just don't get it. So, you know. Yeah.
Oh man. So what's next? What's next for you in the next couple of months? Let's just do a recap here in case anybody's just joining. We have the record release party next month in Vernon. Okay.
Dancing with the Stars.
Right. PresSPlay.
That's the record release. PresSPlay is the record release. Judging right. Dancing with the Stars. Right. And then I'm off to Niagara Falls. And then I'm home, and we're trying to get our shit together to have True Story come out on its scheduled release date.
Oh, nice. You know, sometimes setting a date is the key to just getting it done.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
under pressure.
Yeah. The problem is that I have to go to Vancouver because now the band has to come in and we have to put the screen timing and the band and the song timing. We have to make it one. Yeah.
Right.
So it's going to be fun, and you need to have a theater to do that with, right? Or, well, you don't, but we need to find a place where we can set up a screen and figure out how to get the drum track machine, which has got extra keyboard parts on it and VGs. So he can start that at the same time that the screen starts, because there is definitely timing things that have to go off at the right time or it's going to look really shitty. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
Well, lots of exciting stuff. There's a lot of new stuff happening for you since we last spoke, and I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing with the fans what you're up. And I just say good for you, Darby. Good for you for letting it go and moving forward and still kicking ass Canadian style. And you are welcome here anytime.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you're feeling better and back doing what you love. And exactly, it's do what makes you happy, because you just don't know. You just don't know, right? So
that's one thing I've learned. It's one thing I've learned, and I just don't take things for granted anymore. And
yeah.
So, but thank you for saying that. I feel amazing, and I'm looking forward to moving next weekend. Speaking of which, guys, there will be no show next week because I'll be moving into my new house. But the weekend after, which will be the 29th, join me because musician and author Sean Kelly will be in the house. Sean's got some pretty exciting stuff on the go. He's Sean plays, for those of you that don't know, Lee Aaron, Coney Hatch, Nelly Furtado, and a bunch of other people. So stay tuned and pop in for that. Darby, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again next time. Best of luck, health, happiness, and all things amazing to you. We just love you. We can't be more proud that you're ours and that you're Canadian. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Okay.
We'll
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for dropping in, everybody. See ya.